Majority of the world do what thou wilt should be the whole of the law. Thou hast no right but to do thy will, do that, and no other shall say nay. Every man and every woman is a star. All I free. There is no God but man. One man has the right to live by his own law. To live in the way that he wills to do. To work as he will. To play as he will. To rest as he will. To die when and how he will. Man has the right to eat what he will, to drink what he will, to dwell where he will, to move as he will on the face of the earth. Free man has the right to think what he will, to speak what he will, to write what he will, to draw, paint, carve, edit, mold, build as he will, to dress as he will. For man has a right to love as he will. Take it, fill it with love as you will. When, where, and with whom you will. All like 51. 5 man has the right to kill those who would thwart these rights. The slave shall serve. Love is the law. Love is the will. Love is the law. Love under will. Technical errors of the lamb elaborate. Every time. Every time I trust. She said it's not. This one.
For you to have this successful attack like this, it has to be the element of surprise, and that will lead to the second part. And the reason why the Americans want to they would need the element of surprise, of course, is because there is a strong proof that elements in both the military establishment in Nigeria and the government are hiding in bed with the terrorists. We don't want to trust those people.
Wait, sorry, back up. Explain that just a little bit more.
There is a strong proof the Americans have presented before, particularly in the time of Obama, that elements in the military institution in Nigeria and as well as the political system at the federal level, right? Not limited institutions, but particularly these are the major decision-making institutions in this kind of highly compromised. They're in bed with the terrorists. And
so, out. Is there any proof behind that?
A lot.
I'll put it past nobody. I just want to know, like, how do you feel about it? And is there, like, whatever? I guess that's
this happened about when the Chief of Girls Day, right? Americans were like, okay, we're good. We have aerial surveillance and all of that. And we're going to help you locate the girls and also rescue the girls, right?
Okay.
And when that surveillance was done, there was going to be a joint task force between the Nigerian Army and U.S. Special Forces. And part of the plan, because of the number of girls and the fact that it had to be very surgical, a plan to gas the terrorists and, take the
Yeah,
girls.
yeah. But can you answer the question though overall?
Yes,
Like,
I'm answering your question. You need this information for.
I mean, I think we all. All right, go ahead.
So now, when they got there to rescue the girls, they discovered that the terrorists were wearing gas masks. That was what got the Americans to say, "Hell no! There is a mole within us, and definitely not from us, but from our counterparts."
Yeah.
And that was how America. There are many other stories to this thing. Proven, by the way.
Strange.
Yeah.
Very, very strange. So you do think there's something. Let me try. Okay, so again, I mentioned before, right? I feel like the U.S. does have a bit of a history with kind of, in a way, not doing shit for free. Are you afraid that there's something that could be attached to what appears to be more of a favor? You get what I'm saying? As of right now, that was the question.
Absolutely, there's a favor in that oil situation. Of course, there's always a favor. So what the Americans are going to say, because remember, Nigeria does black crude. They don't do light crude. So Nigeria and the Middle East does black crude. So they're trying to figure out a way to stop the Nigerians from selling to the Chinese to slow them down. So yeah, there's always a ploy in there. And the Nigerians, I don't know if they're going to agree to it, but they may or may not say, okay, we'll slow down selling to the Chinese for, I guess 3 months or 6 months for this strike. Maybe. We don't know what the backroom deal is, but there's always a backroom deal. But remember, Nigeria does heavy black crude, and that is the oil that is used to for jet aircraft, airplanes, and all the other heavy equipment, diesel.
Yeah, we gotta have a shit ton of oil.
So there you go. So there it is. That could be the backdoor deal. Or access.
What do you think, Jab? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Or access to some of the rare earth elements that Nigeria is pumping out of the ground. Because remember, Nigeria has some rare earth elements that they're digging out in that, I think it's in the eastern or northeastern part of the country where they're digging out gold, where they're digging out rare earth elements. So there may be another ploy there for big businesses to get involved and get a piece of that business that they have. And they did this smoke screen to put the Boko Haram on the back foot for whatever reason. So I don't know. There could be a lot of things, but we'll know later, but we don't see right now. It'll come out later in the news when we hear about it in a couple of weeks. I might get done going there.
Interesting. Go ahead.
Ozzy. Okay.
I mean, the only pushback I have against the point that Mike Roman said is why now? Because everyone's known for years, for many years, that out of all the countries in Africa, Nigeria has the most amount of oil. It's just that they don't necessarily have the right infrastructure to be able to build it and to be able to utilize it the best way. And there's a lot of internal corruption, blah, 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 blah. So why right now is that used as an excuse? And with all the other countries that they're currently still fucking over, why are they choosing to do this now with Nigeria? I don't think that's a plausible reason as to why this is happening right now. I am researching more into the point that Domi made, because I think that's more on trend with what's currently literally just happened a few days ago. And from all the aunties and uncles that I'm talking to within that are in Nigeria right now, a lot of them are saying that there's so much civil war and tension between these Islamic and Christian groups. Like it's proper hard beef that has been there for many years. So they just see it as this is almost like they're kind of internally celebrating, but they don't actually want to do that out loud. So for them, it's just they see the north side of Nigeria as just evil, and obviously that for them it's like things are just disgusting and blah 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 blah. And what's gone on there, it was a long time coming because they've been crying about the Christian genocide. So they are in applause for the US to have done that. They don't really care too much about the bigger economic picture of ECOWAS and the alliance of Sahel countries, EAS or whatever it is. But I am trying to research more into that. I understand I just don't agree with it.
Yeah, Ozzy, I can understand that, like human to human, right? Like if something is going on and people are getting hurt, right? Then you do. You would want to stop it, and then you're not even, and then you wouldn't, like your human brain doesn't really think about, okay, what are the what does this person want? If you're saying you can, fix this, then freaking fix it. Yes, please. It's, that's another human being, right? However, the timing is really odd because this has been going on for so long. Why right now?
There is no better time to have it.
Why not last year? Why not yesterday? Why not the day before? The day before that? The day before that? Why this problem has been going on for a very long time? Why today?
Since the maximum time that the U.S. government can stay at most is 8 years, right?
Yeah.
Every government with its own policy interests. So at least we've seen an administration that seems to be interested in issues like this. That's one. So better late. In fact, for us, no time is late. Whatever time they act is as good as it should be, so long as these guys are stopped. Two, talking about the rare earth stuff. Again, the Chinese are there, not only in Nigeria, also in Ghana, illegally mining, paying off the locals, paying off those authorities to illegally mine these rare earth minerals. They've been doing that for many years.
Mm-hmm.
There's also been, echoes of saying the Chinese and all those who have interests, foreign interests, also sponsoring these terrorists. Because the last guy who's currently the Minister of Defense, the last army chief who's already the Minister of Defense, said in an interview with Al Jazeera, if I can remember, recently, 2 months ago, that when some of these terrorists are caught, they're caught with hard currencies you don't find in Nigeria on the streets. So where do they get them from? People who live in the bushes and in the jungle. So where do they get those monies from? Apparently, they have help.
Well,
International help.
There's also been accusations, like, if we're going to have this conversation, then let's be fair, because there's also been accusations of both US and Mossad intervention, sponsoring, funding Boko Haram as well. So, like, these narratives exist on both sides of the coin. America, like USAID funding has been accused of, USAID has been accused of funding Boko Haram and ISIL as well. So that's an accusation that's also being made against the US and Israel's Mossad also. So, like, let's keep the conversation, I guess, balanced and fair.
I agree with you. So when you go to Maiduguri, which is on the northwest, the northeast, this strike happened at the northwest. Right?
Breaking news.
You go to the northeast, the area where the Chibok girls were taken. That area, that's where you find a lot of, the international organizations working. Now, these guys are there when even the locals cannot really operate in those areas. You find that many of these organizations are there working with their staff. Now, I agree with you, what you said, because even this has been some of the sentiments that how is it that these international organizations, they have the temerity to work in those areas, live there very comfortable, while people who are resident there are very scared. Many of them relocating out of those places. Apparently, when these guys hit, they don't even hit these areas where the international organizations are. So does that mean that would it seem to someone that apparently there is some sort of collusion? So this has also been a sentiment, not internationally, but even from the locals in Nigeria. Now, how is it that these guys tend to be more informed? They don't get to be struck when these guys come to strike in those areas as well. So what do they know that the locals don't know themselves? That's why I agree with you.
And I think the other thing as well, like, I'm not pro-China, I'm not pro-America or Western imperialism, right? But I think when you look at that accusation being made against China, I think it's totally feasible given what, China's kind of like extractivism that's happening in Africa, right? I think it's totally feasible. But at the same time, when you look at America's history and track record of being accused of these acts all over the world and those accusations actually were true, right? America has and Israel for that reason, for that as well, like they have a much bigger and extensive track record of doing the same type of stuff to sow division between people within a region for its own benefits, right? Like, America has an extensive track record of doing this, and I just want to remind people that, like, in 2025, if you think any act of American imperialism is neutral and for the greater good of any people, I do think that you perhaps are a little bit delusional, because there is, like, more than enough overwhelming evidence, right, since the inception of America and then the birth and growth of American imperialism to know better. Like, America and American imperialism has never been neutral, ever. And may I remind you, like, America has been at war for majority of its existence, and that war has always been an extractivist war as an outpost for the Western Euro-colonial imperial core. So I think having this conversation without that as an overarching analysis actually doesn't do this conversation any justice, because we know that America is not neutral.
Put him on the moderator, put him on, put me in the queue.
It's never been neutral. So, like, please don't lose sight of that. And there are so many geopolitical factors in this that we have to be mindful of. And I made these points earlier. I don't know if you were in the room or if you reiterated them. There is obviously a lot of activity in West Africa right now, particularly because of the Alliance of the Sahel States and how they are fighting for West African sovereignty, right? I know that at the moment it's Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, but there is a unique positionality with Nigeria because of the ECOWAS, and, you know, like, there's a lot of geopolitical things that are happening here that sit underneath what's happening here, and a lot of reason for America and you know, the Western imperial core more broadly to sow division in West Africa right now, right? There's so much of a political motive for that to happen, and to use Nigeria as a
Hello?
Allegedly, I'm drunk. Need to be.
mean
without any type of
watch every thought that sprang enhance, hour after hour thy vigilance, intense and keen, turned inward minutes, no atom of analysis, on one thought securely pinned. are 7 keys to the great gate, being 8 and 1 and 1 and 8. First, let the body be still, bound by the cerements of will. Corpse rigid, thus thou mayst abort the fidget babes that tease the thought. Next, let the breath rhythm be low, easy, regular, and slow, so that thy being be in tune with the great sea's Pacific swoon. Third, let thy life be pure and calm, sway softly as a well to live be bound to the one love of the profound. Fifth, let the thought divinely free from sense observance entity. Watch every thought that springs enhance, power after hour, thy vigilance. Intense and keen turned inwardness, no atom of analysis. 6 on 1 thought securely pit, still every whisper of the wind. So like a flame straight and unstirred, burn up thy being in one word. Still that ecstasy prolonged, the meditation steep and strong, slaying even God should he distract thy attention from the chosen act. Last, all these things in one overpowered time, that thy midnight blossom flowered, the oneness is yet even in this, my son, thou shalt not do if thou restrain the expression, shoot thy glance to rapture's darkling road, discarding name for sight and stress, even of this high consciousness. Pierce to the heart, I leave thee here, thou art the master I revere.
So I expect next step in the tax cuts, and I know you've talked many times about how the
There are 7 keys to the great gate, being 8 and 1 and 1 and 8. First, let the body of thee be still, bound by the cerements of will. Corpse rigid, thus thou mayst abort the fidget babes that tease the thought. Next, let the breath rhythm be low, easy, regular, and slow, so that thy being be in tune with the great sea's Pacific swoon. Third, let thy life be pure and calm, sway softly as a well till I be bound to the one love of the profound. Fifth, let the thought divinely free from sense of surface and entity. Watch every thought that springs enhance, hour after hour thy vigilance. Intense and keen turned inward miss, no atom of analysis.
Make someone thoughts securely pinned, still every whisper of the wind, like a flame straight and unstirred, burn up thy being in one word. Next to that ecstasy prolonged, thy meditation steep and strong,
Slaying even God should he distract thy attention from the chosen act. Last, all these things in one are power. Time that the midnight blossom flower, the oneness is yet even in this, my son, thou shalt not do amiss. So like a flame straight and unstirred, burn up thy being in one word. Next to that ecstasy, prolong thy meditation steep and strong. Slaying even God should he distract my attention from the chosen act. Last, all these things in one overpowered time that the midnight blossom flowered. Oneness is yet even this, my son, thou shalt not do amiss.
Back then, before Chatter and that other
There are 7 keys to the great gate, being 8 and 1 and 1 and 8. First, let the body of thee be still, bound by the cerements of a will. Corpse rigid, thus thou mayst abort the fidget babes that tease the thought. Next, let the breath rhythm be low, easy, regular, and slow, so that thy attention from the chosen act. Ask all these things in one oh power. Time at the midnight blossom flowered. The word is yet even in this, my son, who shall not do amiss. If thou restrain the expression, shoot thy glance to rapture's darkling root, discarding name, form, sight, and stress.